My name is Lori Jones. I was born and raised in Corona, Queens. My family home was on 108th Street and 36th Avenue. We lived there until 1988 when my grandparents sold the house and they relocated back to Virginia. Growing up in Corona, it will always be my foundation. This was the house that I grew up in. This area right here was the sun porch. This is where a lot of conversations and a lot of heart-to-hearts were held in that sun porch. Over the sun porch was my grandfather's tool shed. He had a tool shed, and this was grass. Grass went along the whole perimeter of the house. Let's walk around this way. Right here was a little ramp. All of this, my grandmother had a rose bush. Here she gardened. There's some like a little red brick back there. Yeah. That led into the kitchen. And all of this was backyard. I'm a summer baby. Birthday parties, barbecues. I mean, we just had fun. Like my grandfather would sit in the yard. I could see him now. He would peel apples. My grandmother I would help her snap her beans. And yeah, a lot of memories were made in this home. So my grandmother was a seamstress by trade, but my mother sewed, and my mother also pressed hair. So it was nothing for a weekend like little girls sitting in the kitchen getting their hair done, you know, or someone needed something sewed, or, you know, it was just memories. Cousins, this was our family home. My cousins were here, my uncles were here, aunts were here. It was a lot of love in this house. And on this block, actually, the Williams family lived there. We had the Sewards, another Jones family, the Lee Crafts, the Blands, the Fergusons, the Lops. This block, 36th Avenue, was one big happy family. It really was. One day, I remember everyone had left for work. Me and my brother were in the house, and he was like, come on, get dressed, because we're going outside. We stayed outside the whole day. Like the whole day, this block was the babysitter. But that's how it was. So for me, like our house, that back door stayed open. If you needed food, you came here to eat. If you needed a place to sleep, you had to get yourself together or whatever, you came here. My grandparents' house was always open, always. I moved to a house on 110th Street, and then from there I moved out to Queens Village. Mm-hmm. The daycare center, BCL, you see it on the corner? That's where my first youth employment job. I was about 14. And also, as a young girl, they had a modern dance instructor classes that we could take at BCL. I did that. I'm so happy and I'm proud that I got a chance to meet Auntie Lucille. I got a chance to drink, you know, from her, to you know, just to be in her presence. You know, I'm just happy and honored that I could go to her prayer space, you know, feel her spirit. And I don't even think people even realize what she's done and what she has left. She was the boss. No, you know she was the boss. If it weren't for her, that house would not be there. Or it would be there, but it wouldn't be connected. As Lucille opened the door, she invited us in. My focus was on her, so I really didn't get a chance to, you know, peek around, but she offered us a cold drink. either water or some lemonade or something. But I remember coming in, I came here and I was standing here. I don't know if that door may have been open. It was in the summertime, it could have, but I remember seeing some greenery. So she was inviting. She was like my grandma. No, for real. She made me feel at home. She welcomed us in. She came in. She was pleasant. She was polite. Like I said, they had a 1-2 minute conversation, and like I don't even remember. I couldn't even hear because I was so amazed that I was here. I was in this house, and that was the first time I've ever set foot in this home. It appeared life size. Because what I remembered from before, it seemed huge, but I was smaller then, much younger. This was the Louis Armstrong block from 37th to 34th. We call this the Louis Armstrong block. Now, I don't know what the children or the neighbors called it who lived here, but for us, this was the Louis Armstrong block. It's amazing. It's just amazing that this is here. Like, I would have never in a million years growing up thought that I would be back here. It's just amazing. The school is named for him. Middle school named for him. The stadium named for him. Elm Corps. All of those things for him. Like, that's such an honor. Like, and that speaks for his character. Community, like a sense of community. And this block was always about him and the children, and that sense of community. Because music tells a story. Music definitely tells a story. You could just convey your feelings in song. Like he was talking to us, you could talk to somebody in song. And not only that, music is togetherness. Music brings people together. It could help you when you're going through those storms. In my mother's apartment, we played music. Looking at that picture, look, he's teaching them something. My goodness, who would? And I bet you Willie would have not in a million years think that photograph would be here years later. That's community. That is community. I just see it. I see like community. I see love. Look how he's looking at them and they're looking at him. My brother, Kevin Jones, that was my heart. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2010. But he was very, very, very active in the community, especially Elm Corps. He played all types of sports: hockey, baseball, basketball, football, handball, skating, roller skating. He was at the service, Louis Armstrong service, with Elm Corps, the baseball team. That was back in '71. So he's all the way to the right, and he's holding Louis, a friend indeed. And that's him. That's him because he had a lot of friends. A lot of friends. This is what we did as kids. We played together. We were together. They were it was family. Our block was family. We knew everyone. Everyone knew everybody. And we took care of each other. Elm Corps was one of the first that I know of. I would say one of the first associations that incorporated the community. That was a safe space for a lot of children and young teenagers. I just love the fact that there is something, like I said, a safe space for people to go to, or anyone that's in need can go to Elm Corps for whatever reason. but I want to be able to say something that will someone else could walk away with, you know, and it's very, very important. You know, of course, get your education, but of course, get involved. Be involved in your community. Know what's going on. It's not just the archives, but this is all a learning process. This is education. This is history. And history is important. And we could tell our own story. And we could tell it the way that it should be told. This is enjoyment. This is fellowship. I think that the center is what this community needs, is what this block needs. And it's right where it's supposed to be. Right where it's supposed to be. Because I had no idea this was even here. I'm thankful that my daughters thought enough of me to bring me back here for my birthday. I just thought that was like the best gift. They hear me when I say, you know, I miss family time, you know. So they heard me, and they brought me right back here to where it all started for me, you know. And I love that. That's what I love about them.